What about now? There you go. Now you're working. Now you're working. But it looks like the desktop isn't working at all. Glad we're doing this before we went live everywhere. Facebook, I'm sorry. Thank you for bearing with me. Let's see. What if I take you from... Put you on default. Are you going to pick that up? Nope. I guess well, that technically works. That shouldn't work, but it does. So we're going to let it roll. Why? Oh, wait, I do have a beanie. And the music stopped. There we go. Now we're back. I should have checked the rest of the settings, but I didn't. Hopefully it's working out fine on Instagram. Let me log in on Instagram, see how that's going. Get the link ready for Twitter. Give me just a second, y'all. If you're in the chat, say, "Oh, David Villadream's already here. What's up? What's going on, Tomas?" You know, it's weird. I haven't seen Thomas in like almost a week. That's like a long time for me. There you go. Share it on Twitter. How you doing, Thomas? How you doing, Villadream? Thank you for sharing the stream. I appreciate it. Chris Riggs, what's up? Yo, you know what? I gotta do a separate post, and let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I gotta do a separate post just about Christopher Riggs. Curtis, thank you for sharing the stream and belated happy birthday. I actually half expected you to show up last night and had a gift ready for you to go. I have this giant Link statue that I was putting aside for you. Oh, your babysitter moved out. Damn, we got to get you a new babysitter. But I'm going to do a separate post on my personal. Because Christopher Riggs put in the nicest entry out of everybody. That's what she said. When Papa Riggs filled out the form. Let me see if I can read it out loud to you. I'm going to share with you private HEPA violation documents. Not really, because Gam's horrible as always. James Frederick, how are you doing? Now I actually know who you are. Let me find Christopher Riggs, what he wrote. In the question within the bit.ly link for the sign-up sheet for the mentorship / think tank, here's what Christopher Riggs wrote. Hold on a second. I should probably get the link out in case other people want to sign up. You can sign up for future think tank sessions at... Let me pin this. All right, cool. Here's what Riggs wrote. Tell me a little bit about what you want to do. No judgment, just throw it out there. That's one of the questions within the form that I just dropped in the comments. What does Papa Riggs write? When I grow up, I hope to have the passion Ryan has for others. And I choked up. I cried a little bit. Then I was like, I can't believe people think I actually care about other people. Because I don't. No. No, but seriously, thank you so much, Papa Riggs, for writing that. And by the way, I need to talk to you and to see how y'all's other project is going. But no worries on missing it. There will be others. There will be other sessions. Last night, quite a few people reached out to me and they're like, Ryan, are you gonna make an event page for this? Are you gonna push it more? Like, why didn't you mention it more earlier? And I'll be honest with you, I didn't want a lot of people at this first one. People who have worked with me know that pretty much everything that I do, I like the approach of starting small and scaling. I like being able to have enough control so I can adapt to the mistakes quickly. And it's easier to adapt to mistakes when they're on like a smaller scale at first and there's like fewer variables going on. Plus it also kind of lets me know which people are more in tune or like directly watching what I'm doing and are flexible, and like there's other things that it kind of helps me out with. So there is a method to the madness and the insanity. Next time, now that I've got like a little bit more of a footing on what this is, because it's a little bit different from what I typically do, I'll make a more formal event page and all of that fun stuff. For those of you that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, we started a mentorship / think tank program, which I'm probably just going to call it think tank sessions or meetups going forward. I think I've got pretty close to everybody that I'm going to mentor at this point. I'll leave one slot open for now. But yeah, it's something where I'm hopeful that this will help usher in the next generation, the next wave of talent in our community, and their abilities to throw events and start up companies and businesses to follow their passions and dreams. I'm trying to use my guidance and my mistakes and what connections I have to make it easier for the next run of people. But it's still me, which means I'm still going to be an asshole half the time. Which also means I'm going to be very aware of my time, and that's one of the reasons why think tank sessions is a little bit more appropriate, because one of the goals is to find like-minded people for y'all to work with. You can always accelerate faster when you're running with a group of people who are making mistakes at the same time, so you can benefit from their experiences simultaneously. Let me read the comments real quick. Curtis says, whenever you're going to be out my way next time, I'll just start making that 2-hour walk to leaderboard to find a ride there. Oh, damn, it's that long? You know what? I'll just, maybe leaderboard just let me leave it there with them. Or do you live closer to Video Game Rescue, Curtis? Let me know. How far is it for you to get to VGR? Riggs says, I was sick for about 2 weeks and went out of town once I was better. Got back last week and been trying to catch up. No worries. Riggs says, that's good advice. I hope it's advice from mistakes I've made. Morales says, it's part of the success formula. What success are we talking about? I haven't had any yet. But, no, and last night was great. The people that came out, I feel like there was a great exchange of ideas. And when I say that, I mean good and bad. In these kind of scenarios, bad ideas are valuable because it still helps you figure out. You need a bunch of bad ideas so you can get to a good idea. You're not going to just have nothing but good idea, good idea, good idea, unless you're me. All my ideas are great. But anybody else, you're going to have a bunch of like, shit, I didn't know, as you're on your way to finding something good. But, one of the... I'm trying to think of like, how do I phrase this? Do you guys want me to phrase things carefully and be compassionate to other people, or do you just want me to keep it real, son? Live on Collins, about 8 minutes away from leaderboard. Okay, the leaderboard would probably be the better option. Let me know which Ryan you want. What version of last night's events do you want? Yo, what's up, man? I almost... Mass, I was this close to coming out to your event tonight. I was like, yo, I want to check out his Thursday deal, because I know you just moved from the coffee house over. But I was fucking wiped. I'm just wiped out. Miguel says real. Riggs says real. Oh, everybody wants me to keep it real. All right. We're keeping it real tonight. That's the damn way, right? Oh, I'm checking something. So, last night, here's what I'm seeing a lot of in the community so far. And when I say a lot, I mean this is one of the consistent threads. That's what I saw you doing, like a Thursday thing at Birdie's. How late are you gonna do it? How late are you gonna be out there? Maybe I'll swing out for like half an hour or something. Brittany says, I know you said I'm fucking white, but I heard something else. I'm white, but that doesn't mean I won't power through it. I mean, I'm drinking some Red Bull and something right now. I already got my 2 workouts in today. So maybe I need to waste it. Well, there's my Curtis cursing. There's nothing wrong with tough love. 10-2. I might come out. I might come out for a little bit. All right. Here is. He is in fact mocha. What the hell does that mean? I feel like that's a racist term. I did back in biz. Oh yeah. Nice, nice, nice. I got 60 in on the Stairmaster, and then just did more legs and core. Okay, focusing. I'm focusing. Here's one of the things that I'm seeing a lot of, that people are confusing this they're confusing my time in this session. Yeah, I didn't get it. I don't know all this weeb shit. In terms of my involvement with you, I am not the person to go to if you just want to talk about your hobbies. And you want to talk about, oh yeah, I want to go just like hang out and have fun and like just volunteer at like conventions and stuff like that. I'm not the right person for you. To me, that says you haven't really decided on something yet. That you're doing kind of like a hobby, and that's fine, that's okay. But for me, I would like to devote my time towards the people like, yo, I'm ready to just like sink in. I'm dedicating an excessive amount of time. Like, I'm hungry, I want to do something. I'm gonna eat, sleep, and breathe this until I get to my goal. If you're in that frame of mind, that's who I'm looking for. But I think the other mindset, you still can talk to the other people. I think that's why it's necessary to have groups, like support groups. But I hear a lot, and I heard this outside of the group last night. I heard a few people say this, that they want to do a lot of stuff with like conventions, and they want to volunteer more. And I'm like, that's good. That's a good thing, and it's nice that you've identified something that you enjoy. But it's like, you have to ask yourself, is that something that you're willing to put in, day out, sacrifice time with your friends, with your loved ones, push yourself to when you're tired as shit and work on it till 3 or 4 in the morning, whether you're researching YouTube videos, writing, whatever it is. Like, are you in that frame of mind for helping at events? And I don't think most people are. I don't think that's something that most people want. I think, it's just me, that people are confusing the notion of being able to participate and be noticed and appreciated for contributions to the community against, hey, what is your goal or dream in terms of this is what... I mean, that can be a goal or dream. But what is something that you're ready to sacrifice a big chunk of your life towards because you can't live without achieving this goal? And this goal is something that will help you in a way that will give you some type of, not just personal fulfillment, but maybe some type of financial achievement so you can continue to do that thing. Does that make sense? I don't feel... I'm trying to say it in a constructive way. I'm not used to being constructive. I'm just used to ripping it. But we talked about that amongst the group a little bit last night, but I got a lot of other entries that were very similar to that. And it's weird. It's almost always tied in with people who want to do cosplay, in my experience. It's a very weird thing. One of the other things that I'm seeing a lot is that people want to be content creators, which is awesome. To be honest, I think / hope that content creation becomes more and more of a legitimate job, a form of employment. I mean, if I'm going to get political for a second, you know, I think there needs to be universal basic income to supplement the ability for people to do content creation. Because at least for the next, 10 years or so, that's not a job that robots and automation would be able to do. Morales says, I get what you're saying. Cool, Morales gets what I'm saying. Brittany, I'm just here to be Ryan 2.0. No, you're here to be Ryan 3.0. You're here to be R3, Brittany. Brittany's one of the people that's going to be taking over the reins of GAM, making it better. Brian? I need to find... Oh, man, I can't... I was going to give you a muscle emoji for that. 2 flexes for Brian. That's biceps Brittany. I think content creation is... I should take it away from what my projected futurist beliefs are on content creation. But in terms of just wanting to do it for a job, I see that a lot. I think it's very doable. But again, it has to be one of those things, and this is something that we discussed at the group, where you need to sacrifice, I shouldn't even say sacrifice, you need to exchange a considerable amount of time. Be willing to go through failure after failure after failure after failure to achieve success at it. Hold on, let me unhide your comment, Brittany. Britt says, I low-key feel like I end up doing way more GAM shit than I ever wanted to because I can't not. Aw. Because I love it so much. Brittany, you're one of my favorite people that I met through doing all this. You know that already, but I'm just saying it out loud. Now you're throwing me off. I'm not supposed to have feelings. Damn it. Content creation. Content creation. Damn it. I'm not... Don't get me in the feels right now, Brittany. Content creation. We talked about this last night. One, everything boils down to, do you have a goal? Do you have a plan? You need to have something to move towards so you can adjust it as you mess up and figure out, okay, is this still what I really want to do? Am I getting closer to it? How am I messing up? And, we talked about, okay, we talked to Fuzzspot Gaming. If anybody knows Fuzzspot, tag him in the comments or the chat. What's up, J Frost? How you doing? Lurking while working? Oh, that's a good rhyme. Trying to listen away, listen away. I hope you can make it. I'm gonna plan the next one much farther in advance, J Frost. So it should be easier to attend. Hopefully on a weekend. Not on a Friday or Saturday though, because I want my time to get messed up with my friends. I'm past the sacrifice period. I don't want to do it anymore. We were talking to Fuzzbot and we were discussing, their goals. And one of the things that was brought up was the shift from Twitch to YouTube. Let me know if y'all can still hear me okay, by the way. I just messed with the volume a little bit. And they were looking at the numbers. And we talked, that was something else. Like, hey, if we're going to go for something like this, you need to start being able to have conversations that are very open and difficult to typically have. Like, you got to be ready to, the most difficult thing, especially for creative people, is to talk about money and business. So we brought up, like, hey, you're looking to do this as a full-time job, and you could possibly be switching your focus from Twitch to YouTube. Is that decision being based on, and they'd mentioned going affiliate and whatnot. So is your decision being based on numbers, or is it being based on dollars? Like, oh, well, the numbers. I was like, well, fuck that. Look at the dollars. And they're like, oh, no, well, money be good too. I was like, yeah, well, no, money has to be paramount if you want it to be your full-time decision. Sheldon, why not both? Because you don't have time for both. You can do it because you love it. Or you can do it for the numbers, or you can do it for the money. If you try to conflate both with them, it's like, all right, I'm doing this for the money over here, but my numbers are better over here. So then which one do you go with? You should know which one's more important to you. Now, and this will give a little bit more light to that. One of the things we discussed was alternate ways of getting funding, like sponsorship, partnerships, branded opportunities. So if you are the kind of person that is better at negotiations and working one-on-one with people who would fund your ventures, and then there is a distinct difference, or I should say gap, between the numbers on one platform and the other, and you need those platforms. Like, let's say you know that you have 3 or 4 potential sponsors in mind and they care more about your numbers on Twitch, then you have to have in your mind that, okay, I need to concentrate on just building my numbers on Twitch because X amount of money could come in from this other source. But those are the kind of conversations and decisions you at least already need to have in your head so you can make the decision when the time is appropriate. If you're constantly straddling both, you're being kind of wishy-washy all the time. Like, you're always validating whatever decision because of whatever the situation is that day. And like, no, it doesn't mean that you can't change your mind. You could be like, for 6 months, your direction could be on one platform, and then like, okay, I'm switching to the other platform because things have changed. But if you do not have, if you're not aware that you're doing something to reach a specific goal, then you're just like kind of like spinning wheels and hoping shit happens. And again, there's like variations of this, or this isn't like a end all be all. This is every single time. But most people, at least most people that I've met, when I've seen them when they're at a crossroads and they just keep meandering between the two, they just stay meandering. And especially amongst this kind of community where everybody's so positive and so uplifting and so supportive, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, just keep doing it. Just keep doing both. You can make it. Don't worry, you're doing fine. And somebody needs to be real with you, man. Listen, you're fucking up. Like, you've been doing this for, thank you for the light, Tia. Like, you're doing this thing and I'm entertained by it, but I don't think you're reaching where you're trying to go. That's why at least I say not both. I don't think most people can mentally handle both. I don't think time is there to have a both mindset. Do you do stuff on both? Of course. But one of the things that we talked about last night was looking at the metrics and the data. And so when you're looking at, hey, how am I doing on Facebook? How am I doing on YouTube? How am I doing on Twitch? How am I doing on this platform, this platform, this platform? You should then be looking at the inside data and be like, okay, well, my viewers are doing better on this time on this platform and that time on that platform. The viewers on this platform respond better to this, and this topic they respond better to on that. And so now you're getting a different psychological breakdown of your audience by platform, in addition to what time things should be. And then you have to figure out for yourself, well, how much time do I have now to create the content to service all these different platforms at the correct times? Can I do a one-shot deal and then edit it out and then like make it like, then just post it for each platform? Like, you've got to figure out all those things, and most people aren't there. Most people don't have that mindset, and they don't have at least not at the beginning. After time, they can make things methodical. Actually, I'm doing that with Tia right now. Tia says, yep, Ryan is that person for me. With Tia, we were discussing just the other day, and this came up actually last night, Tia, because we were talking about content creation, how much time it takes. And even though I was talking, there was one, James, financial professor, and I really want to work more with James. James, I don't know if you're in the chat or watching on any platform. It was awesome to get to formally meet you. We got to work together on something. But we were talking about, well, how much time it takes to create the content. And I was like, no, Tia and I have actually gone over this. It's like everything needs to be broken down into categories and then subcategories and then further subcategories. So like with Tia and like her food blog, or I should say her food business, I'm going to say that. She's like, I'm a mom, I have a full-time job. It's so difficult to create enough content that I need to make on a regular basis. And I'm like, all right, when you go to one restaurant, break it down, every fucking thing that you do. And we're going to break it down further and further and further. And so like, okay, you go to a restaurant, you see a sign, you see a menu, you get to see the prices, you get to see staff. Maybe you took the baby with you, so there's that. Did you take like your husband? Did you take any other friends? What other people do you know have been to this restaurant? What did you end up ordering? Take pictures of the food. What are some dessert items that you wanted to get? Would you recommend going here again? What was how many people were there when you were there? Like, was it a busy time? Can you recommend that time? And it's like you break it down, break it down, break it down. So now instead of trying to do these like big long posts, you now have it down to where one 30-minute excursion is giving you enough content for approximately like 2 weeks, right? And that battles the problem of like, how do I can't do this. I can't give up 15, 20 hours just to make like a few little posts. And it's like, well, you don't have to. Once you get it down to where it's methodical and you have a process, it's a little counterintuitive to the way that most creative people work initially. But after a while, you figure out from being a creative person, how do I make this to where boom, 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 I can just get this done and create as much as possible for it. Even then getting down like your hashtags, and then you figure out like what kind of applications and systems you use. Like I was working with Tia and then introducing her just like the stuff that's within the Meta platform, posting between Facebook and Instagram. And you can dual post Facebook and Instagram, and then you can have separate things, so you can have your separate hashtags for Instagram. That's a mistake I see all the fucking time, where someone just does a post from Instagram and then they let it be a duplicate post to Facebook, and it's littered with all these hashtags, and nobody wants to fucking read it then, because it just looks like it was a post that wasn't intended for the platform, so you become blind to it. But there's all these tools that are built in within the Meta platform that you used to have to pay for. You would buy like Hootsuite or Sprout or whatever. So we're going through, okay, here's like from a strategic standpoint how to break it down, from a execution standpoint how to do it. Here are the tools that are available to you. Here's like the insight data where that lives, so you can start reviewing it. And over time, you can then get to a point where, okay, I can follow my dream now and pursue this as a business. Boom, 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 over and over and over again. And I can figure out my mistakes quick now, because I'm looking at the data consistently. And I'm like, oh man, this thing didn't do well. I thought it would, but I only got like this kind of response out of it. I need to learn here. And that's going to create those opportunities where Tia can have a better relationship with the local businesses that are here. They can see like the impact that she's having, or at the very least get a sense for the amount of work that she's doing, the kind of personality she has, and they can decide whether or not that's somebody that they want to work with. With FussBot, what's up, Adam Satani? Hi, Ari. Remember this voice when you go to sleep tonight. Good night, little girl. Morales is good strategy. It helps. It genuinely helps. We were talking about a lot of this stuff last night, and one of the things that I want to do going forward is maybe as we have each think tank session, I want to introduce a different tool or platform. At least we can go over for like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And then go back into breakout sessions and talking more about individual problems and learning from each other's experiences. That was right. Tia says, I'm now working on data and copywriting. And that's beautiful. That was one of the things Tia and I talked about, was like, hey, got to work on your copywriting. And she just embraced it. And she was like, you know what? Yeah, I do. And I'm going to. And that's the kind of attitude that you have to have. I was telling her how I used to suck. I'm still not the greatest by any means. I sucked at copywriting. Adam says, after some weird noises, she says, have a good night too, in a very unsupportive of a good night tone. Tell Ari this. Many people don't know this. When I changed my handle on like Instagram and Twitter, no, I let go when I've kind of like officially announced to everybody that I was like retiring from doing Gam Show and whatnot. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not Gam Ryan anymore. I'm leaving that behind me. Who do I want to be? And I thought about Ari. Ari always used to say, hey, it's Mr. Ryan. Hey, Mr. Ryan. So Ari, you are the reason why I now go by Hey, Mr. Ryan. A child melted my heart of coal. Britt says, I've learned so much about this shit doing social media work for companies. It's true. And when you do work for companies, you start learning about brand guides and corporate policies. And the main thing is, oh, Grammarly is golden. Oh my god, I love Grammarly. Adam says, Ari says, seriously, all because, yes, it's seriously, my change to Hey Mr. Ryan was because of Ari, Adam's daughter. Because I will be out of character for just a moment and say that Ari melts my heart. That little girl is so sweet. I love seeing Ari. So. And now I'll go back to this voice. For those of you that don't know, Britt says I'm having to establish a fucking brand guide for this new side company. I hate making brand guides. They're a pain in the ass, but they're super helpful after they're done. You have to study the company, and then you have to sink a considerable amount of time in understanding the consumer, the customer. Because good marketing isn't... I don't know if we want to get into a conversation on marketing right now. It's too big a thing. I'll just say in short, good marketing isn't figuring out like what a slogan is or how to have something catchy or a look or a feel or anything. Good marketing now is having a good product and fostering community isn't the word that I want to say, but it's close to it. I gotta figure out how do you say this. It's understanding your people and showing the people that other people like them exist and also use the product. Adam says I can't hear anymore because she talked in a high-pitched voice in my ear. But yeah, with FuzzSpot, we had talked about they've got so many other opportunities in front of them that don't necessarily have to be just based off of follower counts or based off of solely monetization through the content platform. Come over a bunch of times, Mr. Ryan. I will. I was waiting for the burger call the other day, Adam. So with FuzzSpot, and with a lot of y'all, you're pursuing something where there's already an industry and there's other people that would naturally want that you can work with, especially in game. Like, how many video game companies are there that produce games, like develop, publish, from apparel to energy drinks to all kinds of shit, chairs, whatever. So there's lots of other outlets that you can partner with, and the key thing is, be aware of where you're at and aim for the people that are within reach to you first, and then use them to get to the next rung. One of the things that I was talking to, well, I missed out. I thought Adam's gonna let me know. He says, hey, I'll let you know when I do the Mondo burgers. Let me stay focused. Shit. One of the things I used to get ripped on by Nothing But Love for Mandy. I used to get ripped on this from Extra Life and a lot of other parts of Jacksonville, because at the beginning when I started games, like, well, why aren't you working with Extra Life? We do things with Extra Life. And I was like, listen, motherfuckers, y'all aren't helping for me to go forward. You're not helping this vision, this idea, this cause to move forward. I was like, for this to work, and like my idea was to make Jacksonville known and accepted for its gaming and nerd culture. You know, how do we make Jacksonville a force where other companies would actually listen or see us as someone worth giving time towards during a time period where they didn't? In addition to, of course, you know, I wanted to make a positive contribution to my city. I wanted to do something good. And I wanted to make art. There were a bunch of things. And I was like, I've got to be strategic with this. I can't just work hard and make a bunch of shit and then everything's going to work out. I got to be smart about this. How do I get gaming companies that normally don't give a shit about this city and the community in it to hear us? Extra Life, even I didn't know about Extra Life really. It was like a little whisper. But I knew of Child's Play Charity. Child's Play Charity was much more notorious at that point in time. And I was like, okay, with what we're doing, I can reach out to Child's Play. I can do something good. Child's Play had, at the time, a very particular agreement to where if you do work with them, they have to be the sole charity involved. But at least in working with Child's Play Charity, I could then have a much easier time convincing EA to work with us, because EA was a very prominent supporter of Child's Play at the time. And then if I can get EA, just having them, I know I can get somebody else. And that's how, at the beginning, GAM was very strategic in terms of acquiring partnerships and awareness from outside companies. Like, even people like, oh, GAM, at the beginning there, you need more local people. I'm like, well, the founders are all local. But almost all the artwork that you found at the first few shows outside of us were from people outside of Jacksonville. There are people from New York, from Thailand, from LA, Chicago, Miami, Michigan, Kansas, Italy. And what's the next thing that happened after that? Everybody in Jacksonville got jealous. Because they saw, oh, all these other people from outside of Jax are at this thing. Their work is being displayed here. I want my work to be there. And every one of you in the chat that's worked at a corporate job to any capacity has seen it happen where somebody from outside the city gets hired on and they get paid more and everybody makes a big deal about them. Doesn't matter how good they are, just the fact that they're from an outside city. The same mentality works in just typical human nature. So that's where Fussbot and I were kind of talking psychologically. I'm like, if you can get with the work that you're doing, you're so wholesome and so positive. As anybody that sees your stream and your content loves you. There are video games that have that same type of personality and mantra. And they will work with you. They'll even if they're just supplying you like a few codes to give away. You could get like 10 codes to give away that are worth like $10 each. That's $100 that you save that you can now use to acquire additional viewership to then hopefully get the next partner, get the next company to work with you. Or just by getting to work with that wholesome company that's giving you games, you can then talk to another company that is similar, or maybe even a competitor, and say, hey, you know, so-and-so gave us 10 codes. I could do some content and streaming with y'all after that. If maybe y'all can give me 20 codes. And now you saved yourself $300 to $400 in terms of buying stuff to acquire additional customers/audience. Let's see. Tia says, I've been learning to better understand what will work for customer when on web pages in order for them to buy products at my company, but also defending my designs as I take feedback. And that's why it's important to be able to verbalize, like critiquing, you know. Tia was there when I was still teaching web design classes, and critiquing was utterly important to where anytime I had a student giving a critique on, they're talking about their project, the second they would say, so this design was intended to do this, this, and this, and I thought like, bitch, you said start over. I don't give a damn about what you think. Nobody does. Nobody cares about what you think. Tell me what is. Explain it to me what is. And take yourself out of it. Thank you for the like, Denny. And it wasn't because I actually didn't care. Of course I cared what everybody thought about their own work. But whenever, at least when you're younger or when you're greener and you start personalizing your work and you start saying I, typically you start getting farther and farther away from what your audience is supposed to see. You start broadcasting your inner thoughts, desires, your passions, instead of connecting with the passion of the audience. Different when you're making art. Art can be about you all day, but when you're designing and you're creating something for somebody else, got to be able to make that shift. So yes, I do care a little bit, but that was the point of that. Tia says, yay, marketing. We'll talk about marketing another time. We'll get more on another time. Morales, Tia says to Morales, I'm missing out on these good eats. Gotta move to Arlington. That's where it's at. Gotta move to wherever Adam's cooking. Morales says, I'm sorry you live so far away. What Morales is really saying is, I'm sorry you live so far away. Let me sell you a house closer by. Blythe is joining at the perfect. What's up, Blythe? How are you doing? Blythe was actually one of the people I met way back in the day when I was still doing social media work. And she was one of the people that I met through like sifting through data and identifying influencers and whatnot. Blythe does this shit 24/7. But yeah, Morales says you can apply that advice to so much. You can try to, but let's be real. Most people and most of your friends won't allow you to apply that advice. Most of your friends are going to coddle you. Most of the people in your community are going to coddle you. They're going to tell you you're doing great when you're doing shitty, just because they don't know how to be honest with you. And it's just going to lead you forward into being stuck. And that's what I wanted to get away from in doing kind of like the think tank sessions and this mentorship thing. Like, yes, I fully expect and want y'all to find other people like yourselves to work with. Actually, very similar to how the podcast meetups work. You need other people going down a similar path as you so you can learn faster. We were saying last night, 10,000 hours to be an expert, right? But let's say you got a full-time job and you're going to sacrifice your dick off. Like, you know what, I'm going to do a second 40 hours a week just on my dream. So what, you can get 2,000 hours in max per year if you're doing 40? So you got at least 5 years there, right? You got 5 years to go before you can be an expert. That's 5 years of making mistakes as you actually get your skill level up, and hopefully you're getting your experience level up at the same time so you can know what you're doing, figure out what you're doing wrong so you can make it profitable. Then a bunch of you motherfuckers like, oh no, I want to do like 3 or 4 things at the same time. So now you're looking at, what, 15 to 20 years. Because you can't pick a path to go down. You don't believe in any one of them enough to really sink your teeth into it, so you're trying to spread yourself too damn thin. But your friends are all going to be, no, it's good, you can do it all. We support you on all the things. And then they'll say all the things, and they'll use that stupid fucking both meme gif or whatever. And they're like, yeah, thanks, we're gonna do it. And then you'll be having the same conversation 5 years from now. Still be living in your parents' house. Still can't afford a car payment. Still stuck. That's what the think tank sessions are not. I may not be personally mentoring everybody, but hopefully as I'm putting y'all into groups, I'm gonna listen. Be like, okay, the 3 of you, like there were 3 artists last night, 3 great artists. Oh damn, I'm forgetting what. Let me look it up. Chappy Lips was there. That Nerdy Mom was there, and there was a third that was new to me. Let me look up what their name is. Mars Violet. Mars Violet. You can find Mars Violet on Instagram. Great artists, and they were all expressing concerns over, they don't make the time to create enough content, but their work was fantastic. I'm like, all right, the 3 of y'all need to work together. you've just eased up the workload. When you're gonna do a stream, hit up one of them and they can just be talking in the background for you because it'll make the process easier for you. Enjoy the time together, then y'all can create more content. Start giving each other the rub to get a bigger audience. Learn from each other's mistakes. Kat was sharing information regarding making stickers and how like all these other like travel touristy shops love the stickers and they'll sell through them like crazy. Leslie was sharing like her ideas and like her success with doing TikTok videos and like the duration. She was saying she was getting the most success under 7 seconds and how she just makes it whatever like song is trending. Like all this information was being shared that typically would have taken like 6 months to a year to figure out by yourself, and they got it across in like 5 minutes. And if they would have said something else, if they would have said something like, hey, you know what? We're just going to keep drawing and I'll keep sending stuff to each other. We're going to make it. I'd be like, that shit's stupid. Don't do that. This isn't super happy friendship time. You're a mom. You're married. You're a mom and married. I don't know much about you. You're in a relationship, but at least the two of you have your time already kind of spoken for. You got to make shit happen or decide that this is just for fun. Blythe said I paid him to say that. I will gladly take any check possible from you, Blythe. Then I'll rub it in Botter's face and be like, yeah, that's right. You wish you could take care of this relationship. You lucked out so hard. You know she's too good for you, Botter. Morales says true. Thanks, Mr. Ryan. Tia says Blythe gives great advice on data logistics and overall marketing. That's a good plug comment right there. You can take that as a pull quote later on, Blythe, and like use it for the next time you're talking in Vegas or something. Morales says real talk delivered. I keeps it real, son. I keeps it real. I don't got time to not keep it real.
Game. Blouses.
Blythe says, I thought y'all were about to go in on Mark. I was going to. I feel like marketing's too big a conversation right now. Like, actually, see, look, I'll put it into action. Blythe, if you would like to do a stream together or a podcast together and talk about marketing, I'd be all about it. Because I would genuinely enjoy having that talk with you, and I feel like we would talk a lot of real shit. My biggest thing, my quick 5-second version of marketing was just that marketing today is not getting a catchphrase or a slogan or having a cool graphic. It's connecting people with other people like themselves so they're aware of it. I mean, that's the basis. That's how social media works. That's how influencing works. Like, that's how like things being viral works. It's not so much about, oh yeah, I need this. It's like, no, other people like me use it, and I don't want to be left out. Or it's the hive mind mentality, where it's like everybody else is thinking this, so I might as well think it too and buy it. If I don't, I'm the weird one out. Or I want to be accepted as part of this. For the majority, I'm not saying always, but the majority of the time. In my mind, that's where it's at. He says, Blythe, he was, but he was like, we gotta talk about it another time. It's a big talk. It's a big talk conversation. Morales says, F in the chat. Denny says, having a dream is a luxury. In my life, it's been hard to have a dream about anything because life and others have let me down. I've tried many times, but I keep failing with or without others. So I've made it my dream simple to just try and be kind and love others. That's a great dream, Denny. Again, I'm going to be real with you. I think half of that is kind of bullshit, but you are a good person, and I still appreciate that you strive to be a great person, and I love reading when you post things that are positive and uplifting. I do agree that a dream is a little bit of a luxury, but I also think that most people don't have the training or the discipline to go after their dreams. And that's where I hope to be some type of assistance, so people can go after it with a little bit more success. I'm not guaranteeing success by any means, because shit, I'm not even selling anything. This shit's free. But I think most people are never trained in a way to actually pursue something. Whenever I hear that people about like, oh, you can't chase your dreams or go after it, I tell them, you know what? My family was not from this country. They were both... My dad was an orphan. He went through had to go through the whole adoption deal, and like he still never really had an actual mom per se. My mom was in a family of like maybe, God, I don't remember, like 12 or 13 people. So talk about your odds being stacked against you and minorities during a time where it wasn't pleasant. On my own birth certificate, because of the time when they came into Jacksonville, Florida, United States, I'm the first generation born here. The country and the city was so damn racist that they had them marked as being from Saudi Arabia, because where else were brown people from back then? But yeah, they traveled the world. They got PhDs. These nuts came here. She started her own business after being like a teacher and a nurse and going through all this other stuff. Plenty of deaths in the family. Having to provide and take care of the other members of your family. To be able to raise a family of her own and pursue her dreams. Like, how many people get to be a fashion designer in Jacksonville, Florida, where you're traveling back and forth to New York, Paris, China, Italy, LA? So that's what... It's doable. But do you have the fortitude for it? Do you have, and I'll be real, do you have the intellectual wherewithal and the ability to jump and move and own your mistakes and then constantly step up? If you don't, it's okay, but you have to know and be aware that you don't, accept that you don't, so you can work on it and be better so that you do. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. Blythe says, I'm deceased, so because of the botter comments. Blythe says, but you're making good points about choosing whether something is a hobby or not. Right? You got to choose. Be real with yourself. Is this a hobby or is it something more? 4 hour. Yo, I'm all about... We'll do a 4-hour live stream. You can like repurpose the content to like multiple evergreen content for your podcast stuff. I'll give you so much. And we can do one special. We'll do it 1 hour just trash talking botter. And then we'll start like a relationship podcast. How's that? Blythe says, I don't know if I want to listen to Ryan talk for 4 hours. I mean, you used to pay for it. You used to pay to listen to me talk for 4 hours. That's probably why you left class early. What's up, laddie? How you doing? What's over the future of these think tank sessions? What the fuck are we gonna do? I'll tell you. So I'll schedule the next one within the next week. Probably gonna be at the beaches. I want to keep rotating through other local businesses. And I want to, again, facilitate people to find other people like themselves so they can get there faster. Of course, my personal goal, on top of like just helping y'all actually be able to competently chase something, I want to see who's going to make the next scam. I'll be straight up about it. I want the next me, the next tiger to have an easier time than we did. I don't want to take away the pain. I think the pain and the mistakes are important. But I want to facilitate so at least they can go farther than we did. And I want to help continue growing our community, make our neighborhoods better. So those that are looking to start like their own events or be cultural leaders, I want to assist with that. Those that are looking to do more design or art stuff, I want to assist with that. You know, Mass/Miguel Hughes in the chat earlier, him and I have already talked. Like we were talking, like you saw me promoting and talking about Hip Hop Fest last and right. I believe in what he does. He's a good person. His connections will be... My connections will be his connections. And I plan on bringing him into meetings with the people that I've met over the years from various sponsorship levels. So I can see him and what he's doing go even farther. I told you how I reached out and was more than willing to help with the When We Were Weebs thing. Too short a timeline for me to make any kind of impact, but at least bread was broken. You know, reached out and talked to other people who are doing events and whatnot within the city and offering what I can. Tuan's been there when I was trying to help Darby with some of the stuff that she's trying to do in the future. So, like, whatever I can do to... I'm the old man at this point. Let's be real. It's time for the next voices to step up. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to Undertaker this bitch and come back and do this shit all over again. I don't want to do that. Y'all don't want that either. Y'all are tired of me by now. You're like, can we get less Ryan? Can Ryan just fade away from the existence in Duval? He's been here too damn long. Can't he just eat a cheeseburger and shut the fuck up? Tuan says, I heard my name. Whatever it is, it wasn't me. Just say it wasn't you. Are you at the comic book thing right now at a leaderboard? Where you at, laddie? Blythe, if you're still in the chat, how was your excursion in Vegas? Was everybody mystified and amazed by your words of wisdom? I'm not being facetious. I just know I always sound like I'm being sarcastic with no matter what I say at this point. Trying to open to check if Instagram is even catching any of this. Probably not. Blythe asks, are you planning on one topic for each meetup or several at a time? I'd like to keep it one topic. My plan is to make one topic, one kind of tip, and let the rest of it be either socialized time and breakout session. In terms of like, okay, as people are filling stuff out, it's like, all right, you're in the same segment. So here, y'all go talk. You are in the same. Y'all go talk. Learn from each other. And I think with that, I think it's easy enough to break out into like 4 or 5 groups and give each one of them a topic to kind of continue discussing. Or they can just continue discussing whatever the tool or the current topic was of the night. Eventually, I would like to have other speakers come in and kind of share their thoughts and experiences. But again, I want to keep it to like 10 minutes tops. I think there's more in terms of someone just speaking at an audience. 10 minutes tops. The rest of it needs to be interaction time. Latuan says, no, I'm at home. My son started soccer today. Okay, that's cool, man. Son's gonna be on Ted Lasso. Blythe says, I made a YouTube studio in a box and got a bunch of on-site. That's dope. YouTube studio in a box. That's intriguing. Did you post anything about this? Can I see it anywhere? Or should I just message you later and get it one-on-one? Blythe says, one thing Vegas and other events have taught me is that there is some serious magic that happens when we gather in person together. Without a doubt. Like that, okay, that shit. Well, you know what? I'm unpinning my comment with the link to where y'all should go to fill out the form to pin Blythe's comment, because it is that much more important. Q&As are the best at live events. Completely agree. There is like you said, there is a magic to being in person and having an exchange and actually being able to ask questions and talk and connect with other people. One, I'll say more so with this community, in terms of, I would say, like nerds, artists, and creatives. Actually, I'll just break it down to creatives. Most creative people have a very big problem on networking and fostering business style relationships. Even last night it was brought up like, oh, some people mentioned that they were going to bring like a gaming console or something to it, but then they're like, oh, we couldn't because it was outside and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, good. This is not the time. If you were going to bring a gaming console, it wouldn't have been the right environment for it. The whole point, I get there are times when you need it and when it's more fun, but this is built for human exchange. And to then have that console there for people to play and detach themselves but just enjoy the environment would be to the detriment of the experience for everybody else who's trying to move forward. I'm standing by, Blythe. I'm standing by. It says it's more of a human personalized connection. It's more of a personalized connection, but it's just more information can be exchanged. You know, it is so limiting. There's only so much you can exchange. Here, it's not that there's a limit. There is a limitation, but there's I would say considerable limitation of what can be exchanged digitally, based more so on the fact that there is a huge inability for most people to communicate efficiently through digital platforms. Some of it's to the fault of the platform itself. Don't get me wrong. Like, why can't all of y'all send me files right now? Well, probably because a whole bunch of virus shit and hacks and whatnot. But it's much easier to do it in person. This is. Maybe it won't be like that 20 years from now, but it's like that right now. Maybe we'll all be in the metaverse. It'll be easy. Well, I said, sorry for the LinkedIn link. No, you're good. All right, I'm pinning this. Pin. See, can I? Maybe I can bring it up on the stream. I can. Sweet. Let's go over Blythe's post right now. Let's see. This is Blythe Brumleaf's post. My new YouTube studio. I'm gonna skim right now. Okay, here's what it looks like. Oh shit. That's dope. There's 3 road. What the fuck are there 3 connections for? I think that's an audio. I like this so you can see what's going on. Shit, this is fucking intense. Got the Amazon shopping list for it. That's awesome. Is this a referral link so you can get some money off it? Because it should be. If it's not, I'm assuming it is because it's you. This is dope. Let's see. For years I've put off buying myself professional equipment, but after attending in-person conferences again, it's become a must-have. Last August I spent a month on the road hauling around 50 plus pounds of video and podcast equipment, hoping people would want to be interviewed. I used 2 iPhones, a few mics, a Zoom recorder, and a backup USB webcam, along with endless power cords and tripods. I thought it was a legit setup. But then I had to lug this all around. Hope I didn't break anything. Dealt with battery, storage, and Wi-Fi upload issues that eventually got so bad I had to reschedule a couple of interviews. Lessons were learned. So after August, I began looking around at what I could build for future conferences and in-person events. Enter the YouTube Studio in a Box, originally created by the channel DLSR Video Shooter. I tried to think of something funny to say with DLSR, with like dicks licking salty rectums, but I couldn't think of anything. The entire kit is built into a Pelican case, which is also the size of a carry-on suitcase with the rolly wheels. All the equipment folds into the case, so it'll allow me to set it up on a table and damn near instantly have video, audio, and decent lighting all set up, plus an LCD screen so I can see what the camera is recording. The kit can then be closed up for easy on-the-go travel to the next talk. It should really help me be able to focus more on the guests, the story, and the story of their company by worrying less about equipment that took so long to set up. Testing this all out at the Manifest, the Future of Logistics, later this month for a future Freight Waves, Cyberly, and digital display content. Wish me luck! And you got the link and everything. This is pretty boss. David says, this is some Batman 007 content creator magic. It really is. This is legit, Blythe. Holy shit. You know what? Here's what I gotta say this about. I think a lot of this can be accomplished in a more minimal fashion. But with that being said, I still think this is the better solution. Because I know if I saw somebody, if somebody came up to me in a business conference with like their iPhone and like a little lighting thing and a mic, I would not take them as serious as seeing this setup. Like this setup on its own makes me think that you are so fucking legit and so damn smart. Plus it's out of a fucking briefcase, which makes it baller as fuck. And I know having that screen set up so you can see it yourself, like this as a content creator, is fucking clutch. Like that's so boss. Having the power supply all integrated within there, oh my god, that's amazing. That you're not having to leverage having like additional battery packs and all that kinds of stuff. This is just such a nice looking. This is so crisp and clean, and it just looks so boss. You can fucking interview anybody with this setup. Like, you can go up to fucking Elon Musk and be like, yes, well, I think I should definitely integrate this into the next model of Tesla. I'll use Dogecoin to purchase one of these. It looks so it's proficient. It doesn't run on electric. Like, this is just so fucking sweet. So fucking sweet. And you know what? I think a lot of other people won't notice this. This is a very upgradable setup. Like, y'all don't know. She could easily swap out this camera for a phone or for another camera down the line. Like, the parts that she has here are easily upgradable, so she can swap shit out if she feels like it. And how clean and organized that power supply setup. Shit, that's what I'm stuck on. That power supply setup is fucking gold. And it looks like that your audio stuff is set up pretty well. I think that's what's going on. Where you can set up and hear shit, or it's like recording somewhere. I don't fucking know. Like what's going on with that side piece to the road in the upper right hand corner? I think that's audio. I'm not sure. God damn, that's nice looking. Matwan says that is very nice. Blythe says thank you. Morales says agreed. Blythe says battery storage and hotel Wi-Fi were the biggest issues. That's what this one solves. Plus helps me carry it around easily. And it just looks baller. Man, you fucking brand that suitcase? Shit. 2 wireless clips on the mics on the right. One of them is okay. Yep, that's okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Shit. So does this? Well, I guess it could connect to wireless. Like if you wanted to stream with this, like do a live interview, you definitely could. You could have an HDMI. Maybe you already do have this, like some kind of like HDMI out from that camera running to a laptop or phone. That was one of the things that fucking got me at first. Like the Canon cameras I had, like they were cut off a bunch of. If you've done streaming or video content creation with a camera, you know this, that struggle. And the first time you realize that, oh shit, the camera only stays on X amount of time for this, like that auto switch off deal, and then you're trying to hack it and set it up so it doesn't do that. God damn, Blythe, this is dope. And this is also a free plug to Botter's record vinyl podcast. Yeah, you can easily upgrade the lenses, and I'll be real. This setup could easily change to a phone down the line. Like the adapters that you have could easily plug into like a clip thing to hold a phone. You can still get your lighting done. If you got to the point, because the phones are so damn good now. Fly says live streaming is a whole another annoying at times beast. It's extremely annoying, especially doing from a conference standpoint, because you're like, okay, I know the hotel Wi-Fi is going to be ass because everybody and their sister's on it. And if it's a big enough conference, you're probably going to have issues getting a connection from your local carrier. So, even if you have like a Wi-Fi hotspot, it's a struggle. Give me 1 second, guys. Checking my phone. Blythe, I need to meet up with you. We need to do some I know we've been saying that for years, that we need to do stuff together, and don't get me wrong, I know we've done things like for GAM and whatnot, but we need to do some business, some content creation shit. I'll even watch my language. I'll clean it up for you, because I respect you so much more than I respect Botter. Did you know, and I shouldn't say this because I can't reveal it right now. No, I can say this. It's an actual fact, and you can check this with the U.S. Census. Since I haven't been on the short box, their viewership has declined greatly. People don't even listen anymore. They're just like, when's Ryan gonna be back on? And like, well, you know, I don't like wasting my time, so I don't do the Shortbox podcast. Morales says, Botter sidecast? No, we don't do that here. Bly says, come on over to Springfield. I will. I definitely will. Actually, quick mini plug. Botter and the Shortbox podcast is doing a Batman giveaway right now. For those of you that don't know, the new Batman movie's coming out, and the Shortbox is running out a private movie theater. So go find the Shortbox on Instagram and Facebook and check them out. Give them a like, a listen, and for a chance to go to a private screening of the Batman. I might be there. I'm supposed to be there, but depends. If Botter's there, I might not go. Bly said just recorded that and gonna send it to him. Please do. Please do. Morales says, it's true. When is Ryan going to be back on the Shortbox account? Look, Morales is smart. You know, that's how you know Morales does business shit too. He actually tags businesses when he talks about it. It's like, yo, if I'm going to talk about you, you need to fucking know that I talk about you and respect my name. Which all y'all should be doing that. If you're talking about a business and you're not tagging them, you're just wasting your breath at this point. That's the world that we live in. Sad realities. Actually, I was gonna hit up Botter the other day because I finished reading. I just caught up and was reading Hellions. That shit was awesome, and then I saw that it ended, and I'm like, when's the next issue? But I think they haven't restarted the series yet. I think I did there's like 17 issues, and that was it. But yeah, Think Tank sessions. We're gonna do more of them. I think we'll do another one in March. Next time we'll aim for a Sunday. I will not do it as a mini micro experiment this time and actually let more people attend it. And until then, if you would like your fix of meeting up with like-minded creative individuals, I would, with regret, I would recommend searching for, what is it, like Jack's podcast? What's the name of the group, Blythe? What is the podcast meetup group? Just Jacksonville Podcasters? Well, I'm struggling to find it. I want to make sure I say the right thing. Which one? Nope. Hellions is done. It's the X-Men line. Are you sure it's done? I read that it wasn't canceled. It's just that, like, you know how like they'll have like 18 different like Avengers for this time period, then they'll do it again and do it again. I hope it's not over. I really like they left that storyline on such a cliffhanger. I literally was Googling Hellions follow-up the other day. Like, it's the final issue of that series. I hope they pick it back up and like do another version of it. Like I feel like the way they portrayed Sinister, like just the writing in that was fantastic. Morales, you know what? You need to read Chicken Devil. It's like Breaking Bad, but the protagonist is an imbecile. Is this like a bio on Botter? Is that what that is? Jack's Podcasters Unite. Oh yeah, that's right. You got the site now. Shit. Yeah, fuck that. Should I not direct them to Facebook? God damn it! Gotta update the SEO meta info on that. You're good. You're good. You got enough stuff going on. Don't. I'm not gonna look at you like that, Blythe. Don't worry. We're good. I'm not that big of a dick. Yeah, I am. Let's see. Go check out jackspodcastersunite.com, and then you can get a sense. There's a great podcasting meetup group that Blythe and Botter lead up. You can submit like your own podcast to it. Is there information on here for where you can connect on social? You can find them on social media. Facebook group is the same name. We'll have the event info posted. There you go. What date is it? That's what I'm trying to. I want to tell everybody when the next meetup is. I want to say it's next week, like in early March, right? Jack's Podcasters Unite. Yep, Jack's Podcasters Unite group page. And the next meetup is next Thursday. There you go. If you're doing like podcast creation at all, I would, again, there was such a massive amount of value to finding other people that are going down the same path as you. Don't do it all alone, because you don't have enough time. You just don't. Trying to find a good short URL to share. Like when you can find other people, like-minded people that you can enjoy spending time with, and that are going through the same plight and turmoil as you, and that you can share your successes with, you're gonna get to where you want to go so much faster. Thursday the 3rd at Ruby Beach, downtown, at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Ruby Beach, downtown Jax. That's where it's at. One of the things we talked about last night at the think tank session that I was trying to draw a parallel to is that it used to be where Jacksonville was all about, yo, we're gonna do a Jax Fashion Week. We're gonna build up like the fashion culture and community in Jacksonville. I was like, no, you're not. It's not gonna happen. You don't have the ecosystem for it. There's too many other moving parts that you just don't have. Right now, you just have a few people who are circle jerking each other about trying to do it. New York, and I hate drawing New York as an example because it is apples to oranges, and we really shouldn't be comparing ourselves to New York, but New York's fashion scene is completely different because not only do you, it's not just that you have a bunch of fashion people there, you've got schools that deal in fashion there. Before Michael's and Joann's, there was a plethora of stores and businesses that have like beads and parts and spools of fabric and everything else that you need to create stuff there. There are plenty of showrooms and spaces to show stuff there. There were buyers and planners for various fashion companies there. So anybody who's in the struggle to try to learn and come up, there were so many different places that you were going to meet each other and work together, and then so many other business opportunities. Like there was a whole ecosystem there. Same thing can be said like during like the original Vine boom and YouTube boom. There were so many supporting studios that had the money to invest. You had a lot of like recording, audio, video schools in the areas. You had so many different YouTubers and Vine stars that would then all get together, and whether they were going to live in the same house, apartment, in the same neighborhood, and all work together moment after moment after moment. And those things blew up in those areas. So if you're doing podcasting, Embrace this opportunity of people that are like you. Learn from them. Share your experiences to help them grow so they can help you grow. Don't just sit on your ass and try to do it all by yourself. Bitches. This is a good beat. Shit. Alright. The main question now is, can I, as an old man, make it out to Birdies tonight for Mass's Thursday Throwdown? Bly says, all about community over competition. Yeah, that's what people gotta realize. There's enough bread on the table for everybody. And when you're fighting over scraps, you're all gonna starve. Like, I've seen so many people get so petty over nothing. I've seen it happen in the art scene. This is not a problem that is unique to one community. Every community has this issue. But you see the people that get over it and realize that, hey, if we work together, that rising tides raise all ships, those people excel. Sure, there's still like the one every now and then that's just fucking cutthroat. And yeah, of course they make it to the top. But most people that are just... There's a difference between being cutthroat and being petty and wasting your time on the pettiness. If you're gonna waste your time on that shit, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it, son. Fuck the drama. Fuck the pettiness. Help each other. What's up, Brett Ricketts? How you doing? Help each other excel. And other people will help you. The ones that are going to screw you over, you're going to figure out pretty fast who those are. And yeah, of course, be smart. Don't worry about the people who are going to screw you over. But for the most part, people are going to help each other out. There were so many times where I've tried to screw over Botter. I'm true to myself. But yeah, think tank session was great. I'm very appreciative of everyone that came out. Mars over Violet, Fuzzbot Gaming, James, I want to say James Frederick. I'm gonna look it up now to make sure I don't fudge up their name. Chappy Lips came out. Summer Goodman of Fuzzbot Gaming. Demasi Robinson from the hip hop b-boy scene. Mitch Valesco. Find them, Finn Jake on Twitter. Financial advisor, professor. That was great meeting you. So glad you came out. James Frederick, you were great. Wanted to do a lot to contribute to the community and do more to help local businesses and volunteerism. Who else was there? That Nerdy Mom. Tappy Lips and Mars Violet all on the art tip. I'm forgetting names. I'm so sorry. There were others like Josh Mickey. Thank you for coming out. Dominique, thanks for nothing. Anna Lane, Renzo. Thank you to Cliff and Leaderboard for hosting it. I really appreciate it. Brett Rickett says, I'm just out there living my best super fighting robot. Always Mega Man. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm Mr. Ryan. I'm still retired from Gam Show. Do gooder. Be more offensive. Blythe, I'll get with you this weekend. We can talk about trying to do something together. I think that'd be cool. And please share that snippet with Botter. Have a good night, everybody. I'm out, bitches. Jessica, not retired. I can't talk about what Jessica and I talked about. That's some secret top level 007 shit. Jessica, let me say this before I leave. Jessica has done something that very few people have done. And that she's been approaching me with ideas that are very fleshed out, well conceived, and has it structured in a way where I have to do very little work. And I like doing little work. Blythe, good to bring back Gam. When is there going to be a short box con? That's what needs to happen. Yeah, Brett, I'm about to go out and buy some, I would say some cigarettes, but now I guess everybody's vaping. I know, y'all need to talk to Jessica Salas. You can talk about how do you do it? How do you pitch somebody on an idea and make it happen? You're doing a pretty good job right now. I ain't gonna front. She pitching to bring back Gam Show? Nope. That ain't gonna happen. But it's kind of, she's aware of where my head and my heart's at right now. And I said I would support other people doing stuff. I would even be supportive of other people doing Gam stuff if it's the right people. One of my key focus is to make sure that I still have time to spend with my family. He's like checking off all those boxes. So know who you're hunting. And appeal to those traits, the weaknesses that they have, and then you get what you want. Alright, y'all, I'm out of here for real. Go check out the Jack's Podcasters Unite website and meet up next week. Participate in the Short Box Podcast contest. Go give Blythe a whole bunch of likes and whatnot on her awesome YouTube studio in a box. If you're going to buy shit from it, go ahead and get it from our Amazon referral link. And I hope to see a lot of y'all at the next Think Tank session. I want to see y'all make our city better, make our community better. I'm too old for this shit.